Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the world. This message brought to you from our Sovereign Grand Commander, Jim Cole, 33rd degree, is called Discovering Our Internal Level and comes from the January-February 2023 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal.
Hello, Jim Cole here. I want to share one of our journal articles with you. It is amazing that such a tiny bubble could cause me such stress. It began when Marianne decided a glass shelf would enhance a large niche in our living room. There I stood, a husband trying to grant his wife's wish, utilizing my small inventory of handyman abilities. I was motivated by a form of family honor. Though I am one of the few men in my family never employed in the building industry, I have nonetheless learned a skill or two from observing my relatives. My Masonic teachings and memories of my late father's admonitions motivated me to ensure that the shelf was level. Yet, despite my best efforts, the tiny bubble in my carpenter's level seemed intent on moving beyond its prescribed borders, indicating that the shelf, either front to back or side to side, was out of level. For anyone who has worked with one of those devilish little bubbles, it takes only a slight alteration to quickly move the bubble outside the target lines. One slight shift and the entire shelf is out of level. After I finally finished, I reflected on the challenge and realized that our Masonic teachings related to that level are built upon a very sound knowledge of the builder's trade. If, for instance, the initial row of stones in a foundation is unlevel, every succeeding row will be unlevel. The more that a structure is composed of unlevel parts, the more significant the change required to fully correct the unstable situation. Dealing with that tiny bubble is much like dealing with people, especially in a membership organization, most especially a brotherhood such as Freemasonry. Our very special craft is built upon the premise that we treat one another on the level. Inappropriate words, perceived slights, poor attitudes, abuse of authority, each can disrupt what at times is a fragile stability. In America, our very society is established on a similar premise as outlined in the Declaration of Independence, wherein our representatives declared, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights." I have learned in various Masonic ceremonies and experiences that with proper self-reflection, I can discover and utilize an internal level that our Creator has provided to each of us. I truly believe we can each realize, if we take the time, whether our words, deeds, and attitudes are treating our neighbor in a level manner Words matter. Attitudes speak volumes. Having spent almost 40 years in this gentle craft, I continue to be saddened when a brother assumes a title, then by his actions or attitudes skews the level among his circle of acquaintances. I am just as saddened when another brother perceives a slight or receives a wound, and in his haste to correct the wrong, overreacts and damages the balance of peace and harmony. In a great volume found upon our altars, the one which as a Christian is my volume of sacred law, in its book of James, we find, "Let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath." This admonition is a template for maintaining balance with others. Listening allows you to determine a more level approach. We are all endowed by our Creator with that quiet little voice, or symbolically, that little bubble that can keep us level with one another if we pay attention to the bubble.
If you would like to hear more of the Grand Commander's message from the Scottish Rite Journal, like, share, and please leave a comment.